Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. I hope you're having a good day. In this short video, what I'd like to discuss is the use of Google Scholars, the search engine. Yeah, I'm going to start off by saying I'm not a fan of any search engine. And so when asked, what search engine do you use, I typically say none. So I want to get that out of the way first. But in this video, I want to address 3 questions. What is a Boolean search? When should I use Google Scholar? And how do I search literature with a Google Scholar? So first, what is a Boolean search? Well, if you don't know what a Boolean search is, I would suggest coming to this website. It's not a bad presentation on the idea of using logic when we conduct a review of literature. So basically, a Boolean search is nothing more than using and, or, and not in my identification of research articles. And so this website does a really good job of showing here's and, so it has to be in both circles, so that's a combination. Here's or, so that means it doesn't matter. And then here's not, so fisheries, but not in Alaska. This website will do a pretty good job of explaining how Boolean works in search engines, regardless of the search engine. Alright, so when should I use Google Scholar? Well, as with almost all search engines, I would suggest using Google Scholar when you are doing your initial search of literature. Later on, you're going to find specific journals that you want to look at, and you will do a search in those journal spaces specifically. Much later on, you're going to develop yourself as a researcher, and you're never probably going to use Google Scholar, and that's where I would create another video talking about that topic. But I'm at the initial phase. I'm trying to get into the literature. I want to get into the literature. How do I do it? Google Scholar isn't a bad way to go. Now, if you go to Google Scholar, they've got, and it looks like, I apologize, if you go to Google Scholar on the internet, you can bring up their web page, and it's got some things here. It also has a page that shows some tips, some search tips. And so I'm at the beginning stages. I'm just getting into literature. When do I start using Google Scholar? That's the point to use it. I wouldn't suggest using Google Scholar at any time once you've done your initial foray into literature. And I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about the reasons, but there are a number of reasons why, including the fact that it's a new search engine, relatively new. There's a lot of metrics that they use that still haven't quite been fleshed out compared to some of the other search engines that are on the internet. They don't naturally use Boolean searches, so you have to remember to put in and, or, and not, and they use different symbols. So, for example, instead of using not, you have to use a minus sign. And so there are some tricks that you may or may not want to spend time learning. And especially as you get towards the end and you're trying to finish that review of literature. Okay, so the last question. How do I search the literature using Google Scholar? Well, here's another website that I like. It is the Ivy Tech Community College Libraries website on using Google Scholar. And if we scroll down, they do a really good job of talking about the strengths and the weaknesses of the search engine. Some things to remember. But then they've got these quick search tips. And I love how they say quick, and there's 11. But basically, this website will give you some of the key things to think about when using Google Scholar. The most important thing is the Boolean. Using Boolean basics, and that's their second point, actually, the third point here. The first point is lead with the most important words. Don't use stop words. Well, what does that mean? Well, when. To be verbs. Just use the proper nouns that you're looking for. And then they talk about case sensitivity. Google searches aren't case sensitive, so all of a sudden, if you start asking for something like, and they use this as an example, George Washington, you may get more than just George Washington. And there's a whole, like I said, they've got 11 points that they want you to be aware of. And to me, this website has shown, in my opinion, the basics of understanding how to use Google Scholar. So if you're familiar with this page and you understand what they're talking about, you should be okay. Now, in additional videos I will be posting, I talk about doing systematic reviews and the methodology for conducting a systematic review of literature. If you do that, you actually don't need Google Scholar. In fact, you don't need any search engine beyond the ones on a series of predetermined journal websites. That video will be coming shortly. Regardless, I hope this video has answered some of your questions. Hope it's raised some questions. If it has, we'd love to hear it. Otherwise, I hope you have a good day.